close-knit management team. They have to look at the data and make decisions on the spot, and it requires a lot of discipline. This is what BI is about: interactive analytics, operational and interactive. In the past, people were doing, power users were doing the BI, like the people who like to speak about J++, like power users. One of the days I asked one of those users, I said, oh, you use J++? I mean, he was boasting about it. I said, have you heard about J++? So he was puzzled that he didn't know that there was such a thing as J++. Of course, there is no J++. This was like a tongue-in-cheek comment from me. But he didn't lose his composure and said, oh, I have to look into it. So we're talking about not only the power users using BI, but also the people in the trenches who make the decisions, our drivers of the trucks, the people who are delivering the cans in the stores. Those are the people who need to make decisions on the spot. So now, when you take a look at it, we have to see whether BI and with the whether there is introverted or whether it is extroverted or whether it has to be both. I mean, rich information application is something which Mark will be speaking about. So BI and RIA fusion here. So we are looking at hardware. There is also BI proprietary hardware. Then the next component is operating system. The third one is database management system. The fourth one is sources of data and providing data visualization. And then we are talking about BI delivery model. And of course, we have to come up with the solutions. So we are looking at BI, so to say, as a utility. So what we really would like to have is, when you look at hardware, who is left? Is IBM, HP, Dell, Sun, big question mark. The TITSA type of data warehouse appliance are there. Who is left in operating system? Linux, Windows, AIX, Solaris, question mark again. What's left? Oracle, DB2, SQL Server, anyone else? Who is in the sources of data? You have corporate data, publicly available fee-based data, publicly available free data. And we have to provide the data visualization. Instead of telling the zip code of 10014, if it shows near the Hudson River, the place where it is 10014, people have much better idea. We have to use the power of our eye. Our eyes are extremely powerful. And that is what the data visualization supports. Now, with the BI delivery model, we are looking at virtualization, commoditization. That means there are many choices, and that's what I was talking about before, that there should not be monopoly. We need to have many choices to select from, and that's the best part of this industry, that there is always going to be multiple choices. And consumerization, people have their own ways of looking at what they would like to look at. And the solutions will be rich internet applications or rich information applications, pre-built APIs, pre-built reports, business to computer, business to business, business to employee applications. And of course, Mark will be speaking more about it, where the scalability becomes one of the main issues when you have so many people using it. So we would like really to have BI as a utility, as an on-off switch. Now, what are the different components of the BI application? We are looking at database management system, tools, and so on. Of course, we all know that there are so many layers. So I have one theory: try to minimize the layers that you can, because I have a theory which I call an onion theory. More layers an onion has, more you are going to cry. So try to keep the layers to a minimum level as much as you can. I have written about this, so if you would like to have a copy of the article, please go to our website, www.atre.com, go into resources, and then you will be able to look at that. So what I'm talking about, because one of the things I always do is that when I get frustrated in this industry, I sit down and write an article or write a book. I have written at least 500, if not more, articles. One of the things which I said, now if you take a look at components of a web-based BI application, there is something new. It's SOS, service-oriented architecture, SaaS, which is software as a service, OLAP, online analytical processing, tubes, and of course, with it comes scorecards and dashboards. One of the things I always say is that in this industry, one of the things we have done is that put together 2, 3, 4 letters. There is some acronym out there. So now you are going to learn some more acronyms. There is something which I came across the other day which was really funny. ASPCU. What is that? It says American Society of Prevention of Cruelty Towards Users. ASPCU. Then there was another one which I came across, which is NBI. Nothing but initials. So we really have to understand what stands behind those acronyms, not just keep on throwing the acronyms around. So what is our BI infrastructure and BI application architecture? When you look at the different data sources, we have dispersed data, which will be collected with something called ETL, extract, transform, load, integrated data, information, and hopefully we have a BI portal which will have our dashboards which will help us in the strategy and implementation. So some more acronyms if you didn't have them enough already. So KPI, key performance indicators, and they are always interrelated. Just like when you take a look at KPI, it's something which I always like to relate to it like our health. Our health is that when you look at KPI, debt to equity ratio, asset turnover, profit margin, they are all interrelated. Just like our health is that our blood pressure, pulse rate, sugar level in blood, cholesterol level, they are all interrelated. Okay, so you cannot have just one the best and the other one the worst. They are somehow stick together, and the same thing happens with the KPIs. And using the KPIs, you develop a scorecard so that you can see you set together the objectives, you set together the targets, you set together the initiatives, and then you compare with the measures. Like you have objectives set that our business should increase the profit by 5% in the next year. Then what are our measures? How do we measure our profit? So we have to set that together. Then the target, have we reached the target, or how far are we from the target? And in order to reach the target, what are we going to do? Those are the initiatives. And in this case, if in case you get the clockwise customer to achieve our vision, how should we appear to our customer? Financial. To succeed financially, how should we appear to our shareholders? Now, in order to do that, we have business processes. To satisfy our shareholders and customers, what business processes must we excel at? Can you read like 90 degrees, turn your head? Objectives, measures, targets, initiatives. So that's what we are talking about, which is the balanced scorecard. Now, return on investment, which is you have to achieve at least one of these, which revenue increase, profit increase, savings, or gain in market share, which are the hard ROI, where you can give them numbers. The numbers don't lie. And if you cannot measure something, how are you going to improve it? So, but customer satisfaction is the soft ROI. Now, isn't this beautiful? This is something which is a dashboard evaluating customer loan fulfillment processes in real time. And one thing I'll tell you, if your users tell you, well, I need only this chart or this screen, do not believe it, okay? Because once they see this, they want to go lower level. So design at least for the 3 more layers down from what you see so that you can drill down. You don't have to implement it right away, but in the design you should have that. This is with the loans. It depends on the people who are looking at it, which production center it is, which production manager it is, and so on. So different people have access to the different data. Now this is something which Mark will be going more into, which is like from open source software, where you can have the dashboard, dynamic dashboard application, which you can download from BIRT Exchange Marketplace, and this is the URL. So Mark will be going over it, as well as Vaisi will be speaking more about that too. Now this is our banking profit dashboard, and I want to develop that with you. So if you look at this here, we have something where we go into the this one here, which is this one here. Let me get that. So where we go in there, which is here. So here we can see highlights, deposits, deposit mix, growth in deposits, and so on, which is the banking profit dashboard. Now here if you go further, assets which are liabilities with plus bank capital, interest rate spread, I mean this is all jargon as far as banking is concerned. But I want you to look at the last column, which is the leverage. Leverage is bank's debt. Like example is bank assets. Let's assume it's $100. Bank, that means bank capital is only $5. Now leverage ratio for this bank is 100 divided by